The big story at 6 this evening. It's a major trouble for the first family of the Congress party. Sonia and Rahul Gandhi have been summoned by the court on the 7th of August in the National Herald case. While BJP's Subramanian Swamy had accused the Gandhis of running a fraud company and misusing party funds, the court had found prima facie evidence against Sonia and Rahul Gandhi. Swamy has alleged misappropriation of assets worth 2,000 crore rupees of the National Herald newspaper. The others summoned include Motilal Vohra, Oscar Fernandez, Suman, Dubey and Sam Pitroda of the Congress. Well, here's what Subramanian Swamy has accused the Gandhis of. The first charge, illegally grabbing properties worth 1,600 crore rupees. Let's look at charge number 2, running a fraud company and misusing government facilities. That's the second charge made by Dr. Subramanian Swamy. The third charge, violating rules governing parties by diverting Congress funds into a family-run firm. All right, let's in fact get the latest from our correspondents. But before that, let me introduce our guest here in the studio. Joining us is Dr. Sam Pitroda of the BJP here in the studios. With us also our National Affairs editor, Javed Ansari. Javed, let me come to you first and try and get the response of the Congress party to what has come as a major embarrassment. Early days, certainly, but at the same time, considering this affects the first family of the party, this is going to be tough for the party to explain. A petition that has been admitted now in the court and at the same time summons issued to the party president.
Yes, but let's get some things clear. These are summons that have been issued. No verdict has been passed. From what we gather, the Congress party and the Congress president's office, they're already moving they plan to move the Delhi High Court. So that is where things stand. As far as the political part of it is concerned, this is certainly something that a headache, an embarrassment they could have done without. This comes at an inopportune time. Parliament is scheduled to resume from the 2nd of the next month, and this comes at the backdrop of the resounding defeat that the Congress party, the worst in its history, that they have suffered in the last general election. So they're already in the back foot. Questions are being asked of the leadership. Certainly this is something they could have been done without at this stage and even in any time in the future.
All right, let me also quickly go across to my colleague Ashar Khan, who's joining us from outside the Congress office. Prima facie, the court has found evidence, which is why the two leaders have been summoned, the Congress president as well as the vice president. What exactly has been the official reaction? Because earlier we heard from Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who suggested it's a stale case and there is a clear hint of personal vendetta because Subramanian Swamy had been raising this issue right since 2012.
Well, that is exactly what the issue is. That is what the Congress has been saying. What the Congress has now done is that they are yet to receive official papers of those summons. So what we are gathering from our sources, the entire legal minds of the Congress party will get together, have a look at it, and what we've been given to understand that a resounding reply would be given. What is also known is that there are also legal options being explored, that these summons could be quashed by a higher court. Which will happen, which will include that the Congress president and the Congress vice president will not have to go and appear in the courts. So clearly all legal options being explored by the Congress party so as to ensure that no further embarrassment comes the way of the Congress president and the Congress vice president. While on the other hand, we already saw that Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, who himself is a lawyer and a spokesperson of the Congress party, has come out and spoken earlier in the day when this news broke. We saw that Kanish Singh, who's a close aide of the Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, came and had about an hour-long chat with the Congress Treasurer Motilal Vohra, whose name also figures in those summons. So clearly the Congress in a huddle, trying to get things together, trying to come out with a proper and a solid response which they think will stand legal scrutiny.
All right, we'll discuss that in detail. And you mentioned some of the other Congress leaders who too have been summoned by the court in Delhi. They've been asked to appear on 7th of August along with the Congress president and the vice president, who now are facing summons from the court in the National Herald case. Let me bring in Dr. Sam Pitroda in this right now. Dr. Sam Pitroda, this is a case that has been exclusively followed by Mr. Subramanian Swamy. In fact, he was the one who had taken the Gandhis to court in this particular case. How exactly the BJP plans to attack attack the Congress party, or corner the Congress party with these summons that have been issued, which have come as an embarrassment to the Congress?
Yeah, I believe the courts having summoned the two topmost leaders of the Congress party, the message that had to go loud and clear to the people, to the public, has already gone. Today, in fact, by this summon, the people of this country have realized that what we were talking about, the National Herald case in particular, was a case which was very essential, which was very important, and in which case even the Gandhi family top brasses were involved. And it's ironically the group of people, the same group of people were active in the Congress, the same group of people were in the Young India Company as the group of people were in the National Herald's Association of Journals Company Limited. So ironically, they have the money has exchanged hands between the same group of people, and that's what we have been speaking since long. And today the court stands the same view and the court calls them for a summon. Let's wait and watch how the whole thing shapes up.
Well, absolutely. Like Javed mentioned, these are just summons. This isn't a verdict, but clearly it has come as an embarrassment for the Congress party. Let me quickly go across to our associate editor Atir Khan, who's now joining us from Vijay Chowk, to tell us more about what exactly happened in courts today. And to quote from a PTI report here, Atir, the judge in her order today said that from the complaint and evidence led so far, it appears that Young Indian was in fact created as a sham or a cloak to convert public money for personal use. Those are the comments that were made by the judge today in her order before summons were issued. Just take us through the details of what happened in the court.
Well, that's right. It started as a political issue, but now it's in the legal domain. The court has taken cognizance, and the court has issued summons to both Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and others in this matter. And the court has also said that it has seen evidence which suggests that it is adequate to summon these persons who have been named in this case. So therefore, they will have to appear before the court, and they will have to present their side of the story. The Congress party spokespersons are already saying that they will be preparing a befitting reply to this, and since it involves a lot of legal preparation, it's a case of breach of trust and also misappropriation of funds. So clearly the Congress will have to come up with a very strong contention, because this case is likely to go into trial in the times to come.
All right, let me bring in Javed on this, because in 2012, when Subramanian Swamy started attacking the Congress party, particularly Rahul Gandhi, over the issue of National Herald, the Congress party had ceded that it had in fact given interest-free loans from which no commercial profit had accrued to the Indian National Congress. That is something that has been in the public domain. The Congress had ceded that fact. But there will be a lot of explanation left to do still, because the charge that has been made has been about how this property was grabbed to convert a public trust into private property for gain.
Yes, these are questions that the Congress party will have to explain and answer and convince the learned judge about their bona fides. It's one thing to issue statements, it's quite another to be able to convince them. One of the defense put up by the Congress party was that there was an emotional attachment to National Herald because this was founded by late Jawaharlal Nehru. Be that as it may, there is a law of the land, and now the learned judge will decide whether or not the Congress party did infringe that law or not. It is for the Congress party and its legal advisors to argue their case. They say they will argue it vigorously. We will have to await things as they follow in court, and of course the judicial verdict.
All right, Dr. Patra, do you expect really the Gandhis to clear the air over this? We are finding it difficult to get some of the spokesperson of the party to speak on the matter right now, because they're still mulling the strategy and what exactly to say. They're brainstorming right now. But do you expect the Gandhis really to clear the air over the matter?
Ruchika, the matter of fact is, truth never needs any kind of brainstorming. If the truth would have been truth, then the spokespersons would have been here in umpteen numbers defending the Gandhis. The spokespersons are not on the television speaks a volume about itself. But the most important issue is, personally, I feel it's a deja vu to us, in the sense that, remember, we had Robert Vadra case in which there was a loan from DLF, and how crores were earned out of petty answers. And over here also, similar kind of thing is seen, in which approximately rupees 50 lakh was spent to gain approximately rupees 5 5,000 crore worth properties. And third most important issue is this is a case, I think one of its case which is moving right from the beginning of the Gandhi family to Mr. Rahul Gandhi. As Javed was saying, from Jawaharlal Nehru 1938, when the National Herald, the Navjeevan and the Qaumi Awaz was formed, till this date, Rajiv Gandhi also had intervened in the middle to see to it that the whole thing did not crash down. So the whole Gandhi clan, in a sense, has come under the scanner, and it is really mind-boggling to see to it how petitions was spent, just rupees 50 lakhs to gain 5,000 crore worth properties, 1,600 crore worth properties in Bahadur Shah Zafar Road, from which they are earning approximately rupees 60 lakh per month as rental.
Well,
so this is mind-boggling.
all this is yet to be proven in court of law right now, Atir, but from what we understand, with these summons now issued against Sonia and Rahul Gandhi, it's evident that the Congress top leaders will be facing trial in this case, because Subramanian Swamy is somebody who moves court ever so often. He has submitted several petitions, some of them get thrown out, but in this particular case, it's certainly become a headache for the Congress party, as its top leaders will face trial in the National Herald case.
Well, that's right. It really has become a headache for Congress. Top leadership and also other senior leaders will have to be present in the court on August 7th, and they will have to give their side of the story. Moreover, they will also have to counter the evidence which has been presented by Mr. Subramanian Swamy in the court of law. The learned judge has taken cognizance of that matter. There are some signatures which have also been sort of looked into and tallied, and thereafter these notices, summons have been issued. So they have a mountain to climb. They will have to go with a very strong case and their presentation of facts.
Right, and let me bring in Ashar here, because Ashar, as you're speaking to Congress leaders, as Javed was mentioning, this couldn't have come at a worse time. The Congress is already on the back foot after the poll drubbings, and now, of course, this trial the top leaders of the party will be facing.
Well, absolutely. As far as politically is concerned, this couldn't have come at a worse time for the Congress. One was looking for a reshuffle in the coming days. There was talk of change of chief ministers. 3 states are going to polls. Amidst of all this, such a news comes where the Congress president, the Congress vice president and very senior leaders of the Congress party have been summoned by a court. Certainly very embarrassing for the party, and also very damaging for the morale of the Congress worker. Apart from that, as far as the legal position is concerned, their lawyers are putting their heads together. What we expect is that there will be more sound minds coming in the course of the day, but they will take some time before approaching the higher courts as far as quashing of these summons are concerned. But clearly this summon was something which completely struck the Congress party out of the blue. Nobody was prepared for this. They were caught unawares. They perhaps didn't even anticipate that such a thing would happen. That is why we saw the aide of Rahul Gandhi rushing to meet the Congress treasurer Motilal Vohra. So clearly putting all these things into perspective, the Congress at the moment is mulling over options, is trying to see how to go forward, what is the best way out.
Right, and Javed was earlier dismissed by Abhishek Manu Singhvi in that brief statement that he gave to the media, that this is a stale case and there is no love lost clearly between Subramanian Swamy and the Gandhis. It's a case of personal vendetta. All that will also be looked at the fact that the court did find merit in at least bringing this case to trial.
Well, absolutely. Notwithstanding whatever may or may not have happened between the Gandhi family and Dr. Swamy, their state of relations is immaterial as far as facts of the case are concerned. This case will be, as is the case in every other legal matter, it will be decided on merits. No amount of emotions or sentiments will matter, and the learned judge will take a call. Right now, she's issued summons for the two Gandhis to appear along with other senior leaders, and perhaps the Congress party will, as the first case, the Congress party will seek an exemption and then take it from there. But certainly it's hugely embarrassing. This is something which the Gandhi family and other leaders of the Congress party could have done without at this stage.
Well, this is something that the Congress party can ill afford. Let me quickly take that to Sam Pitroda. You had a point to make.
No, I have a very important point to make, in the sense that, look, I mean, there are umpteen number of Congress leaders who have been charged with corruption, and now they all stand a ground where they have an alibi with the topmost leaders, where the two Gandhis have been summoned to the court with a case which is as strong as a rock solid case. And over here, the alibi provided to most of the corrupt Congress leaders is our topmost are corrupt. So what do you ask us to?
All right, and this case would have certainly come as a breather to the BJP, which of course was feeling the heat right now, considering the interviews that have been given by Gopala Subramanian, the former Solicitor General, who in fact questioned the manner in which he was targeted by the NDA government, and also the fiasco that's unfolding in the Delhi University, Sam Pitroda. So clearly you have an opposition right now which is battling some serious charges.
I believe this requirement of breathers were the essentialities of UPA government. We need no breather. We need to work very hard because the state of action right now of the economy of this country is really horrible, and we have to work hard and we have to restore it to normal. So we need no breather. Criticize us for whatever wrong we are doing, and please praise us for whatever good we are doing. We are prepared to in fact act for the benefit of this nation.